Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well. Sorry about the weird angle. My husband's doing, sorry, that's the wind, doing errands around the house, and this is where I can record right now. So let's get into it. Lovecraft Country, Jig-a-Bobo, or yeah, it's Bobo? Yeah, Bobo. Okay, so it starts out and again, they always playing some random songs that don't really go with the time period, and it doesn't go with what actually is going on exactly, but kinda. So the song that's playing in the background is "Cruel Summer," and it just looked like it's a funeral or something. It's like looked like it's super hot in Chicago. It's the 50s, and I was like, wait, a funeral is the 50s, and it's a whole bunch of people outside. I immediately think and know what's going on South Side of Chicago in the mid 50s at this time. Everybody, well, not everybody, but most people know that is when Emmett Till was murdered down south or whatnot. Everybody's familiar with that story. And I'm really happy that they included this in, which I figured they would anyway, since the time period and everything. So, yeah, so they're at Emmett Till's, the viewing of his body, because, his mother decided to show his body so everybody, the whole world could see. And that was a big part of the pushing of the civil rights movement and all that stuff. So anyway, as that's happening, it pans over to Diana, and she's just sitting there, and she's just looking so sick and so sad or whatnot, and upset. And I still don't see Hippolyta anywhere. I'm sorry, y'all always mess up her name. And then she's just looking dazed and confused, and she crying and whatnot. Let me see. Hold on, let me read this. We see Tick and Letty, they're there, and then Montrose is trying to bring Letty and Tick some water. Tick is refusing the water from Montrose because, he still got an attitude with his daddy for being gay. And I'm like, wait, get over it. It's bigger things going on right now. So, Ruby's there too. And they're still waiting. It's so hot, like the hottest, even Ruby mentions it, it's like the hottest day of the year or whatnot. And they all got their, church clothes on and everything. So, people sweating bullets. So, anyway, Letty is looking a little faint. And Tick is like, you want to just take a break for a minute and, just rest or something. She's like, no, I'm fine. Leave me alone. Why? Just leave me alone. So, I'm like, does he know that she's pregnant? Because he was being overly, attentive, usually, when they first met, he was just like, girl, whatever, and everything. And, he always lets her take care of herself. So it seems like he kind of knows, what's going on with her or whatnot. So then out of nowhere, Tick and Ruby are talking. And then he's saying, we should tell Diane about her mama or whatnot because, we don't know if she coming back. She went through that portal, but she didn't come back when I did. So who knows what happened to her? And her father's gone, and now her best friend has died. So it's, they revealed to us that Emmett Till was good friends with Diane or whatnot. So she's just losing everybody around her or whatnot, and just for no damn reason, just all types of crazy shit happening. In this case, it's just racist ass white people down south. But anyway, as they're talking, Diane kind of disappears from out of the crowd because Tick was like, maybe we shouldn't have her go see this. And Montrose was like, nah, everybody needs to see this. This is a Negro rite of passage. And I agreed. That boy was her age. She needs everybody who could have seen that, should have seen that, because, like he said, it's a rite of passage. And you can't shield kids, especially if it's someone, their friend, and someone that their age, so they need to know that this is a very much reality, and you can't shelter your kids from what the hell is going on in the world, because the world gonna come for them whether you like it or not. So anyway, he didn't say all that, but I'm saying it anyway. From there, Diane, she had wandered off, and they went to go look for her too. She wanders off. She goes to I think the little nickel and dime store, and she's looking inside, and I guess she's seeing some kids in there, and then she walks away from it, and then she sees two girls come out of the little ice cream parlor, and they laughing and giggling and stuff. So it looked like they not even mourning or caring about what's happened to Emmett Till. And even one of the shop signs was closed, saying closed for Emmett, and these little kids out there just laughing, ha ha ha, and playing. And she just gets really frustrated. She throws rocks at them. As she's doing that, she's standing towards an alley, and all of a sudden the police pull up on her, and I'm like, oh shit, because you know that they found over in, what was it, in Kansas or St. Louis or something, whatever, where Hippolyta was, they found and shot that cop. They found Diane's book, and they pulled up on her, and it's like, "Are you Diane Freeman? Are you Diane Freeman?" And she was like, "Yes," or whatever. And he's like, "Where's your mama at?" And all that. She's like, "I don't know. She's doing out for work or doing a tour for work or whatever." And he was like, "What do you know about magic?" And she was like, "What magic?" And he starts laughing. And as he's telling her, asking her all these questions and yelling at her, the other cop, it's the captain that stops her. I don't know if I said that. He making some markings by her feet. And I'm like, what kind of spell shit is they trying to do to her? And then she tried to run away. They trip her and drag her ass back into the little box that they was writing over by her. And he starts spitting all these words. Then he actually spits and put all his nasty, disgusting, racist spit on her forehead and saying this fucking spell to curse on her. And then they leave or whatnot. I'm like, what the fuck did they just do to that little girl? So from there, and sadly, they police do shit like that. It's not cast spells on them that I know of, but I mean like harass children and shit, and don't nobody do nothing. But anyway, from there, I need to look at the next page. Y'all got hella notes because a lot of stuff happened in this episode. Letty is at the boarding house and she's looking for Tick, and as she's she's looking for Diane, because everybody looking for Diane right now, my bad. So she goes in and she sees in the corner sitting in a chair in her house, Jaya, whatever, the Korean chick that slash fox creature thing, that was with Tick's ex-girlfriend or whatever back in Korea Bay, and she don't know that that's her at this moment. She was like, "Are you looking for a room?" And then it goes off from her. I was like, "Oh shit, Tick. It's about to be some shit. That old thing that came back for you, or whatnot." So it jumps to Tick. Tick is in goes to like the mausoleum or whatnot, and then he is like secretly meeting up with Christina. And then he was like, he wants her to teach him how to cast a spell. And she's like, "Homie, you've had my car for I don't know how long. Why do you want to learn how to do this shit now?" And then she's like, "You look desperate. What's going on?" And he was like, "I just want to learn how to do this. Just I have a birthright." She was like, "You ain't got enough whiteness in you to pull the birthright card." I'm like, "Girl, shut the fuck up." And then he was like, he just needs it to be. She's like, "What you need? What you need?" He's like, "I want to be able to protect myself." And then she tells him like, "You can't just have the words. You have to have." She tells him all the things that he needs in order to cast the spell. He has to have intent. He has to have a body and some other shit and everything before he can actually cast the spell. And then she showed him the symbol for what he would need to do to cast the spell, and he need his own blood and all that. So from there, what happened? Oh, he goes on and he asks her what happened, and as she's about to leave, he asked her like, what is going to happen on the autumnal equinox. And she pauses, and she was like, "I'm going to do what my father has always tried to do or wanted to do or whatnot." So of course she probably gonna try to, I don't know, she's trying to open the gates or whatever. She's like that she's gonna become immortal. So I think that's what her father was trying to do that whole time too, or whatnot. So from there, and then she leave. So from there, it jumps to from there we see Diana, she go back home. Montrose is there. He's like, "Girl, where the hell you been at? We all been looking for you." She was like, "Is my mama dead or whatnot? Where's my mama? Where's mama?" He's like, "No, your mama ain't dead. She on a trip. She went and did a tour. She just on a tour." And then she was like, "Whatever. Y'all all lying to me. Ever since everybody's been lying to me. Y'all all lying to me. Where's my mama at?" She's really frustrated. I'd be frustrated too. My daddy went on a tour and never came back. Now my mama gone and y'all don't know where the fuck she at. She's like, "My mama wouldn't have been gone during this whole time with Emmett Till and stuff. She would have came back." So that's why she really not believing that her mama is just gone on a tour, because this is like one of the biggest things to happen ever, and her mama would stay away. No person would stay away, especially from their child at this time. So she locks herself in the bathroom, and Montrose is like, "Look, Diane, I know you hurting and everything. The same thing happened to me when I was a kid. They took my best friend away. And, you know, white people, they always take, but you got to make sure that, you know, you give them a fight before they try to take everything that you got and everything. He's just giving her a little speech. And Diane is kind of just out of it. She crying. And then all of a sudden she start hearing this music or what. She turned on the music and then she starts hearing some other tune or whatnot. And then she looks over on a bookcase in the bathroom, and all of a sudden the song, she sees the book Uncle Tom's Cabin, and at first the book looked normal. Then it switched to like some little monster girls on it or whatnot, and then she just feel like she's tweaking out. So she just puts on some gym shoes and jumps out her window and then leaves. And then Montrose opens the door and he sees that she gone. So from there we see Ruby. Ruby's returning back on home to Christina / William. So she going back up to that house, you know, on the north side, and she trying to get her key, but she's so disheveled or whatnot, you know, because everything that's going on today, that she like drop her keys, and then some white dude from across the street talking about some, "Are you the maid?" And then she's like, "Hell no, I ain't the maid, damn." And then he's like, "What you say?" And he started trying to run up on her and shit, and good thing William is pulling up as homeboy running up on her. I'm like, damn, nigga, do you live there? Why you all up in her business? Just because she black and she on the north side trying to go into her house where she live. I'm like, this is fucking disgusting. But anyway, he asked, and then William's like, is there something wrong? He was like, oh, do you know her or whatnot? He was like, yes, I do. And then he asked Ruby, he's like, is everything all right? She was like, she just really couldn't speak because she's just so upset. And the dude was like, oh, well, I guess everything is all right if you know her. I'm like, really, motherfucker? I'm like, that's just disgusting. So anyway, sorry about the noises, y'all. There's shit going on outside my house. It's just loud around here right now. But I'm trying to get this out. So from there, Ruby just looks so distraught. William take her in the house or whatnot. And he just give her some tender, extra caring love and attention. He give her a whole bubble bath and everything. He always bathing her. / Christina. Maybe Christina just into bathing people because she's just bathing her, but you know, in her William form, obviously, and whatnot. And they're not even talking. She just give her some extra love and attention. I'm like, you know what? Like I said, get you somebody who could do both, because maybe she needed some masculine / tender handedness, and that only a woman could give, but you wanted with man hands and stuff. But anyway, after she got all bathed up. She was bathing her or whatnot, and then William kisses her, and then Ruby kind of like pushes away. I'm like, oh, don't be trying to get funky now, girl. Y'all live together and stuff. Y'all is shacked up, whether she Christina or William or not. That's your bae now. And then she pulls away, and then once she get out of the bathtub, she goes and she takes that, you know, that's potion to turn her into that white lady or whatnot. And then William starts taking his clothes off, and then all of a sudden they just get to fucking. She's fucking her as her white self or whatnot. And as they're fucking, out of nowhere, she switches back into being her normal self. And I'm like, will she just take a sip of the potion or something? Because it didn't last that long. And Christina's potion must last way longer. Her Christina into William potion must last way longer than that lady's potion, which they still haven't said who that lady was. But yeah, and William, they was getting it. She was first, Ruby was on top, but then William turned her over and just started getting it. And then, like, I'm like, she is like for real in love with her or something. I like, cause they like live together. They just got a whole home. And I'm like, this is so weird, but I'm low key here for it. But anyway, from there, what happened? We see Tick, and he's at the boarding house. He's walking up to the boarding house, and he sees two little Korean shoes, not just two little regular shoes, at the doorstep. So he kind of is pausing because he knows that ain't nobody's but, Asian person or whatnot gonna take their shoes off at the door like that. And me, because I don't allow shoes in my house because I track in dirt and shit. So he come in, and sitting at the table is Letty. She looking kind of upset, and then Jaya or Ju or whatever her name is, Jaya, whatever, Jaya, and she's sitting there, she looking like she happy to see him and stuff or whatnot. And from there, then it jumped. It's like we don't hear no conversation at that point. Then we see Diana. Diana is on the L platform, the train platform. For those of y'all who do not know what the L is, in Chicago, that's what we call it. It's the L. train platform at the Quincy stop. And Quincy is one of the only stops, or one of the stops that are still like preserved like how it used to be, so it's probably really easy to film right there because it looks exactly, well, pretty much exactly how it did back at that time. So she's at that stop, and she was about to, I don't know where the fuck she was about to go, but as she there, she looks at the stairwell, and it's dark, and all of a sudden as she's at the stairwell, she sees them two little girl creatures that she saw, little monster creatures that changed on the book, and all of a sudden they come to life, and they coming up off the at the platform, and they just dancing, and they look like fucking little monster creepy thing. Now this is where I'm sorry about this dang old light that keep flickering on my face. It's coming from my window. This gave me Us vibes, you know, Us, the movie, scary movie by Jordan Peele, who also produces this. So this very much gave me vibes from him, because that's just his style. So yeah. And they chasing after her, and she's like, do you see that? She asked the white man. He's like, no, I don't see nothing, girl, get the hell off me. And so she's having hallucinations now. So whatever that police chief did to her, sorry, I'm trying to get this thing go light off of me. Whatever he did is making her have these hallucinations. So, and then she just run off the platform and just try to escape and run, because she don't know the thing is after her, and she don't know what the fuck it is, and I would run too, shit. So from there, we're back at the boarding house, and Jaya, he's like, what are you doing here? Why did you even come here? And then she was like, she explains how she's a succubus. He's like, and she's like, has the spirit of a nine-tailed fox, and how she, you know, the whole story. We already know her story. And when she has sex with people, and her tails go inside them, and she know their future, I mean, their life flashed before her eyes. And it's never happened the way it happened when they was together. And Letty is like, you out fucking this woman, her tails and stuff and whatnot. And then he was like, well, okay, fuck all that. So you see how I die? How do I die? She's like, I don't know. And he was like, if you don't know, then why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here? And then Letty stops, and she was like, she's here because she loves you. And then Jaya's just sitting there like, huh. And then Letty just got pissed the fuck off, and she just walked away, because that's they garbage and shit, and she ain't trying to hear it. And Letty pregnant and shit. I wouldn't be trying to hear my baby daddy talking to his ex and shit about, and she come back from fucking Korea because she love him. I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, so she run off, and then Tick goes to Jaya and was like, look, what we had wasn't real, and you need to get the fuck up out of my house or whatever. So just go away. You weren't helpful. Just get the fuck on. And then Jaya just looking salty, and she just started crying. I guess she leave, because Tick follows Letty upstairs, and she's like, he's like, Letty, what are you doing? She was like, I just want you to get the fuck up out of here. Ever since you came back or whatnot, everybody, ever since you came back, everybody's died except for you and whatnot. And then she just like, just get away from me. And he was like, no, I'm gonna fix this. So he grabbed something, and he grabbed his bag, and then she's like, Chick, where are you going? I'm like, first you was about to kick him out. See, that's that pregnant craziness. First you about to kick him out, girl, because you mad because his old bitch from the past came back to warn him. But she had no information. I'm like, girl, this is where you, maybe she just want to see Chicago. Why did you come all the way from Korea just to have that little thing and cause trouble? You could have called him. You could have wrote a letter, sent a telegram, something. You did not have to come all the way from Korea to do all that. But anyway, maybe she just wants to see Tick. But anyway, so Tick was like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna fix this. Just leave it to me. I'm gonna fix this. So he just runs off and leaves. So from there, what else happened? We go to Ruby, and Ruby walks in on Christina as she on the phone or whatnot, and she got a little attitude, kind of like she's just a little indifferent towards Christina. I was like, don't be getting mad because she in her Christina form and she not in her William form right now. You still be letting her hit that. And she was like, do you even care about Emmett Till or whatnot? Do you even care? And then Christina was like, do you want me to say yes? And she was like, and then she was like, Ruby goes and tells like the details of Emmett Till's death, like how he was beaten and shot and had a barbed wire hung around him, and that plank thing, and thrown into the I forgot what the name of the lake or river was or whatnot. Do you even care? She was like, I want you to feel guilty about your white privilege. I want you to feel alone like I do. I want you to. She's like, I want you to feel heartbroken broken, and I want you to feel tired like I am tired, and I'm tired of being tired from feeling this way. I'm like, girl, I'm tired of being tired of feeling that way too, because shit is real. As real as it was then, is real now, and I's tired too. With generations of tired black folks, and we is tired. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, and then Christina kind of comes at her, and she was like, no, I don't care. Do I care about Emmett Till? No. Do I care about this person, this person, this person, this person? No. What I do care, and then she was like, oh, and then Ruby goes on and say, like, the only reason I took that potion before having sex with you is because I didn't want to be a black woman having sex with a white man. I'm like, actually, we're having sex with a white woman who was in a white man's body, like, whatever, to be technical. But she said that. And then Christina kind of checked her. She was like, no, you had sex with him. You took that potion or whatnot because you, what did she tell her? Hold on. She was like that you cared about yourself, only really cared about yourself and what you wanted, even on today when it was supposed to be a big thing, but you still are a woman who wants what she wants. And then Ruby didn't say nothing. I'm like, well, Ruby, did she just read you a little bit? Because I don't know, it's something about Ruby whatnot. I don't know, it's just something about, I mean, I ain't like Ruby from the jump, but then I kind of liked her a little bit after I thought she learned her lesson with the Marshall Field stuff. But I don't know. It's something about her and Christina's relationship that Christina seems to get her or understand her a lot more than she gets herself at some way, or a lot more than she wants to even admit to herself. That's what I'm seeing from their relationship or whatever. Hey, if it works, whatever. So from there, we see Diana. She finally shows up at the boarding house, and she runs up to Letty. She's like, Letty, have you seen Tick? And Letty is just out of it, you know. She just has to deal with the whole Tick shit. She's like, no, I don't know where Tick at. I don't know. Diana, go in the house and call your uncle so he can know where you at. Excuse me, and that you're safe. And then she was like, as she was talking to Letty was walking away. Letty was not paying her no mind because she got her own pregnant problems right now and baby daddy's issues. And she was like, Letty, no, stop, wait, it's something behind you. And then Diana's having these hallucinations of them little monster girls, the little twin light-skinned, dark-skinned monster girls, or whatnot, and she sees them behind Letty. She's like, girl, and then she starts choking when she tries to tell Letty what's behind her, and Letty's like, girl, go in the house, get some water, and call your uncle. I'll be back later. So that was what happened with that, and she walks away. And Diane, she goes and walks towards the house, and as she's walking up towards the house, she happens to see Woody, which is, you know, their family car, George's car, her daddy car / mama car, and she sees that car that her mama drove off in that car, and all of a sudden the car is back and her mama is not. And she like, what the fuck? And as she looking through the car, them damn little monster girls jumped up on the window, so she just pulled off. She grabbed the bike and she just rolled the fuck away. Because I was like, I very much so wanted Diana to just go into that house, because I'm like, girl, you are under some type of curse. Maybe if you went in the house, because y'all know that house is protected. And I thought this before I even got to the end of the episode, but because, you know, before when Christina tried to come in that bitch, she couldn't come in because there was a protection spell on that house. So I really wish the little girl would have went in the house, and she didn't. So from there, we see Montrose is drinking on the curb, and then Tick walk up on him, and then he's talking about did you ever cheat on my mama? And I'm like, Tick, it's not really the time to be talking about whether or not he cheated on your dead mama. I mean, Tick is still conflicted. I'm like, but boy, you got a baby on the way. You need to be worried about a whole bunch of other things about if your gay daddy cheated on your mama. Like, for real though. So anyway, that's being sensitive, like, but seriously, like, it's a lot of motherfucking monsters and shit, people trying to kill y'all. Like, it's over with. Like, she dead now, so you ain't even together. So Montrose goes and said, he was like, I had urges and whatnot, but I never acted on them when I was with your mother. And then he goes and tells him this story about a pastor from his church when he was a kid was accused of being homosexual and having a lover or something. And once they found out about this, the pastor, the police came in and dragged him away like he's a fucking criminal and took him to the asylum and cut out half of his brain. And Montrose was like, I chose to have a life instead of ending up in the asylum or ending up in jail or dead from, you know, being gay or whatnot. And then he was like, his mother she lost Tick's mama lost everything in the riots. She lost all her family, and he said that we both had a mutual agreement that we both just wanted a family, and that's what that's why they and they wanted somebody to be with them and understand their circumstances and whatnot. So that's what brought them together. They had a different type of love. So he did love his mama, and she knew what shit was going on from the jump. So Tick need to let that shit go, because your mama was cool with it. Okay, I mean, I think she fucked your uncle, and that's your daddy, and I don't know when Macho's gonna tell him that, or maybe if he'll never tell him that, I don't know. But yeah, so from there, Tick was like, what did he say? Oh, and then all of a sudden the power starts going out, but that happens a lot. I don't know if it happens all over, but in Chicago, them summer power outages don't be no joke. They just be random as fuck, and the power go out. I remember it happened here. This summer it happened, and the power was out for it was a hot as fuck ass day, and the power was out for a good 24 hours, and we were dying. But anyway, and Tick finally, I guess, gets a little bit more understanding of his mother and father's relationship. He goes and he tells him that Letty is pregnant. So I was like, I knew he knew. He's like, but Letty hasn't told me yet. And then he hands him that Lovecraft Country book. And then as the author of the book, it says George Freeman. I was like, Uncle George wrote that book. But then Montrose turns the book over, and it's a picture of some dude. And Tick says, yeah, that's my son. Because he went through that portal too. So he tells Montrose when he went through that portal, he went to the future, and when he was in the future, it was all these white people rioting, and some robotic arm or something handed him the book and pushed him back through the portal. So his portal experience was a lot different from Hippolyta's experience or whatnot. And we still don't know what the fuck she had, but I don't know. So from there, he goes on and he tells Montrose that he thinks that wait, what is it? Wait, no, he don't say it then. Does he say it then? No, he don't say it then. Then it jumps to Letty at church, and Letty is praying because she got a baby on the way, and her baby daddy tripping, and she just is praying. She praying for herself. She praying for coverage. She's praying, and then as she's praying, we see Christina walking into the church. I'm like, damn, what the fuck she doing there? And turns out that Letty called her, and she told Christina, look, I got the negatives for the Titus pages. I will give them to you from her pictures. I'll give you the negatives if you put a protection spell on Tick. And she was like, no, I won't put one on him, but I'll put one on you. And then first, Lady was like, no. And then she was like, yeah. And then Christina goes ahead and puts the protection spell on her. And then it burns the mark of Cain on her. And Christina said that she's the only person that realized that the mark of Cain could be used as a protection for healing and not for a bad thing or whatnot. So and then as they were having a conversation before she gave her the protection thing, she was saying that when her father was casting these spells or whatnot, and as she was learning, she was saying that her father always wanted to be divine and all this heavenly stuff, but he has to understand that God or heavenly things is both. You have to take heaven and hell. You can't take the good part of things, and that's one thing that her father did not understand when he was trying to become so divine. And then Letty was like, what, so are you trying to be God? And then she was saying how she plans on her immortality and all that other shit and whatnot. So I just want to throw that part in. So anyway, it jumps to Diana, and she is outside the police station, and she is watching for the police chief, because he didn't want to spit on her damn forehead and stick that little curse on her to make her see them little demon girls. And as she's looking at where the police chief is going, them little demon girls is on her back trying to come towards her, and they nails getting longer trying to come for her. They pop locking and dancing and dropping and shit. They was pop locking and dancing the whole time. I'm like, I wouldn't really be scared of them because they dancing and shit. But anyway, whatnot. So she bikes after him as he drives away from the precinct or whatnot. Then it jumps back to Montrose and Tick, and they were talking about the Lovecraft Country book, and Tick was saying that even though the book has some differences, a few differences, everything seems to check out and pretty much be the same, and that's their family story. I'm wondering, I have not read the actual Lovecraft Country book. I was wondering if he was saying the differences were from the actual Lovecraft Country book, and if that was a nod to that. I wonder, because if y'all read the book, let me know down below if that's what the case was, because I'm not sure. I still need to read the book. And he was saying that he thinks that Christina plans to sacrifice him on the autumnal equinox or whatnot, because he knows that casting such a spell, you need energy and you need a body. She told him that already. So, and you need intent and all this other stuff and blood. So Montrose was like, well, you need intent or whatnot, because he asked his dad, like, what do? I just want to do all I can to protect my son, or my unborn child and everything, and I want to be there for him. And then Montrose goes on and say, he was like, well, you need someone with intent, right? And he was like, yeah. He's like, well, I always thought at the end of the day I would die by the white man's bullet or be hanged or something. Magic just seems like a better way to go. So he offers himself as a sacrifice for Tick to complete that spell in order to get protection, in order to protect Tick and his grandson. I was like, oh, that is sweet, Montrose, even though you look alcoholic weirdo and stuff and angry sexually repressed man. He was trying to do the right thing for his family. Then we see Diana is at the Sons of Adam Chicago-based lodge. She busts in on the police chief, and she was like, is my mama dead? And he was like, probably, girl. And he asked her, she was like, what are those things that are following me? What are they gonna do if they catch me? And he was like, I don't know, but I can take that spell off of you, but I need you to do something for me. He was like, I need Hiram's Aurum. He's like, do you know what that is? And she's like, yeah, I know what it is. He was like, bring me that and I'll remove whatever it is that's following you. I'll remove your curse. And then she had spit on him and said, fuck you, pig. And she's like, it stinks in here. And she left. And then I was like, you go, girl. And as she's leaving, another little speech is happening. They always put like historical speeches, historical like black speeches, historical songs. There's certain things that go with the moment. I like when they do that in this. It's really cool. And some of them I know, some of them I do not. So, and it makes me go learn and look up more stuff, which I like that about this show. So she leaves about at the lodge, and as she's leaving, the damn little monster girls are after her. And first she's just so frustrated, she's screaming. She kind of rides her bike past one of them as they was trying to touch her. I was like, can they touch her? I wasn't sure if they just hallucinations or if they could actually harm her. And after she leaves, the police chief was like, you know what, fuck that, fuck her, she's already dead. And I was like, what you mean she already dead? So whatever curse he put on her is to harm her or kill her. I'm like, oh shit, Diane, you need to tell somebody that these things is after you, because maybe they can help you with their magic, because this motherfucker then put some shit on you. And then he was like, fuck that, I'm tired of going about it this way. I'm want to go and get what's mine, or what's ours, or some shit. So, you know, he wants that damn Aurum, so he's going after that, because right before she walked in, they was looking at a thing about Letty anyway, and how she was how everybody's paying her out to be such a great person, because, you know, she opened that boarding house for black people and under low income folks and all that. So from there we see, and then it was really funny, because when they first saw Diane, they were like, she was like, he asked what's your mama name is. He was like, Hippolyta. He was like, those damn African names. And then it was funny because she corrected him once she got to the fucking lodge, and she was like, Hippolyta is Greek, you idiot. So I'm like, yeah, because white people swear they want to be talking about somebody, I'll open some Kool-Aid, don't even know the flavor. So anyway, next scene, y'all be a lot going on in here. I be trying to condense these, but they just be long. The next thing we see is Montrose and Tick are about to try to cast this spell, and Montrose wasn't reading it right, and then he was like, oh, I mix up my words sometime. And Tick was like, since when? He's like, since I was a boy, I'm dyslexic. He's like, what? what other secrets do you have? And I'm like, parents do have that bad, like not telling you certain things, especially stuff that could possibly get traced down back to you. If it's like a medical thing, like you should let people know if you got learning disabilities and shit like that. But anyway, so they go on and try to cast the spell. The spell does not work after they do it, and they're like, what the fuck? So then it jumps to Christina. Christina is on the docks with these two white men, and they got some barbed wire, a big heavy cinder block and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? In the Emmett Till's death are y'all trying to recreate? And that's exactly what they do, because she was like, y'all done this before. She asked them some, and then they just start whooping her ass and beating the shit out of her and tying her up, and then they shot her and tied her up and whatnot. And I'm like, are you? So apparently what Ruby said to her kind of got to her or whatnot, because how she wants her to feel, because she's saying that she wants her to step outside her white privilege and all that stuff and everything. And I'm like, Ruby must got some good pussy if she got you out here trying to recreate a death so you could feel the stuff that she feel. If that's your intent and why you doing this, girl, Ruby got some good stuff. That's all I got to say. So anyway, they shot her and did all this stuff to her and put this barbed wire on her and threw her ass in the lake. And then as she got thrown in there, she jumps right back up because I know she probably had a spell or something on her, but she probably just wanted to do it so she can experience the feeling of what had happened or whatever. So from there, it jumps to Letty. Letty is in her little dark room looking at the little pictures that she took of that she's been taking to her and Tick, you know, all booed up and shit and feeling sad. And then Ruby comes downstairs and she was like, asked her, did she go see Emmett Till's or whatever body? And then she's like, no, I couldn't go through with it. And she told Letty, don't feel bad, you know, you had to do what was for you, because Letty didn't want to take the pictures of Emmett Till because she's like, it was too much for her. Then Letty goes on to tell her that she is pregnant. And then she was like, oh, hell no, girl. You done messed up now. She was like, ever since you went off with them and y'all went off to Artem and all this other stuff. And she started saying shit that Letty ain't never told her. And then she was like, how do you know all that? She's like, yeah, I know about everything. She's like, that white man you stand with? And she was like, yeah, well, it's a white man sometimes, and the other times it's Christina Braithwaite. So she opened it all, the whole can of worms. She's like, I know all the shit that y'all been doing. Y'all over here keeping secrets, but I knew the entire time. And she's like, you can't trust Christina. She's like, no, Christina told me everything or whatnot. And then she's like, you can't trust. She's like, she's going to teach me magic, and I'm going to do this, and blah, 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 blah. So, you know, she stood up for her Christina, her Christina love and everything. And as she's talking to Letty, somebody yells to Letty, like, you need to come upstairs right now. And when she gets upstairs, all of a sudden, the police fucking captain and everybody on the force who crooked as hell with him got the whole fucking boarding house surrounded. And Letty goes to answer the door. Ruby was like, nah, let me handle this. I don't want your baby to be born in jail. So they answer the door and they talking about we got a tip saying that some Muslims could be in here from Islam, could be plotting some vengeance because of the whole Emmett Till thing or what, some bullshit. And then that's exactly what they said, bullshit. And one of the cops walks in or whatnot, and he gets in, but the chief, you know, who does magic, he tries to walk in and he can't get in. Why? Because of the protection spell, which is good. And then as he sees that happen, he's like, you know what, let's just go. And then they just walked away, and I thought they was just gonna leave and he was gonna think of another way, because he was like, as they were walking away, Letty and Ruby was like, oh, he knows. She's like, oh shit. She's like, what was that? She was like, oh, that's a protection spell. She's like, well, now he knows that you know magic, and he does magic too. Then out of nowhere, they just open fucking fire on the boarding house, like, just shoot the whole fucking place up. I'm like, what the fuck? So they're shooting the whole fucking boarding house up, and everybody just get down. I'm like, this is disgusting, and can't nobody stop them because they the police. So I'm like, who gonna call it when the police is the one that's racist and doing fucked up shit to you? I digress. The same shit happening right now. Who do you call? So from there, as that's going on, we see another scene of Diane. She's locking herself in Uncle George's and her mama's little shop, because I guess she starts drawing them little monster creature girls, and she's locks every door except for one, because I guess she's trying to fight them or something. I don't know what she's trying to do, because little Diane is just going through the flux today. And as that's happening simultaneously, they're still shooting up the boarding house, and Tick is on his way back towards the boarding house, and he hears the gunshots, and he walks up towards, he's like runs toward the boarding house, and they was like, they see him running up towards it, and they turn their guns towards him, and they was like, wait, put your hands up, boy, this, and he's just sitting there, because he's worried, because he know Letty and shit is in there, and he's like, oh my God, they shoot up my baby and my baby mama, and he sees Letty through the window, so he sees that she's all right, but the cops, she see that how they are, and then one of the cops pulls the trigger and to shoot Tick, and Letty's ran out the boarding house to come, because she knew what the fuck was about to happen, because if he was just a sitting duck outside, because they was trying to kill all of them. So as she runs outside to try to jump in front of him, because I guess since she got that protection spell, I guess she felt like she could get shot and be okay. All these things happening simultaneously, before the bullet even gets to Tick, something comes out of the ground, and what is it? One of them vampire monster things with the whole bunch of eyeballs from Artem comes out of nowhere and just starts fucking all the cops up, just slicing and dicing, biting their heads and arms, kills all of them, including that fucking fucked up ass police chief or whatnot. As they were done, and Letty and Tick tried to run in the house, but the damn monster threw a thing to block them off, so they couldn't get in the house. So they just like out sitting ducks outside, because you know that thing last time was like killing everybody and would have killed them too. So they didn't know if that thing was after them or not. So they were trying to hide from it. And once the thing was done killing all the cops and shit, it ran and came up. I thought that thing was scared of fire, because it was some fire that was on and it didn't run away, so I was a little confused by that. But it runs towards Tick and Letty, and then he was all like this, and then as he did this, the thing stopped, and it just didn't do nothing. So Letty goes and she says the spell works. So now I guess they are protected under Christina or whatever, or either, I'm trying to think, did Christina's spell? I know Christina's spell worked, but did Tick's spell work too? Because he did cast a spell and all that. Oh yeah, and one more little scene that was happening as this was happening. Diane was trying to fight off them little demon girls that was dancing, and Montrose comes in and he's like, Diane, I'm gonna come and help you, because he breaks in the door that she had locked herself in, and he sees her swinging and swinging and swinging. And he don't see her swinging or nothing, because it's only in her mind that she can see those things. And as she was doing that, he grabs her to try to help her, but you can see that them things are scratching away and trying to eat away at her, and it actually is harming her, because you can see her skin was getting messed up and she was bleeding. I was like, oh hell no, they didn't gotta say that, little girl, and she needs to tell somebody that man and did that shit to her, because before she died, because he said her ass was gonna die. But anyway, that was the episode, y'all. It was a good one. There was a lot of shit going on, and it wrote, made a lot of stuff come into my head, because again, this is a Chicago thing, and the whole Emmett Till wasn't just a Chicago thing. It was a world thing that happened, and it just happened to be with a child who was from Chicago, and it was just horrible. And yeah, that was it, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed this review. It's not as long as usual, a little bit shorter. I will see y'all next time. I think it's only like 1 or 2 episodes left, and I'll see y'all then. Make sure y'all check it out. Check out my other reviews. Love you, love you, love you. Peace. Bye.